If you feel you have what it takes to be awarded as the best in the business, here is your chance to apply. Head on over to our website, download the form and apply. If you face any troubles when applying or feel the need to get in touch with us directly, email us, call us, tweet at me directly at Sunanda_J or join our Facebook group.
Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18-hour special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. This is the only daily MSME platform in the country, a show where you can voice your concerns and get answers to all your queries directly from our team of experts. We understand the issues that you, the MSME entrepreneur, face, and this show aims to bring you the most relevant and updated information on everything related to your businesses. On the show today, we have a chat going with Unipro on our Insights segment. On Bright Sparks, we are featuring Find Your Class and views on what parents think are some of the biggest challenges in the education space today. Digital is touching every aspect of our lives, so can education be far behind? Unipro is a digital marketing company working specifically in the area of education, helping educational institutions come up with innovative solutions to reach out to students. I spoke with its co-founder on how you, the MSME entrepreneur, can use innovative digital solutions to further your business. Listen in. Let's, in fact, start with the origin behind Unipro and where the idea and the germ of the idea for that really came about.
We started this company in like 2012 with like four people with us, and today we are a team of 34, and we work with almost like 100 plus clients on board. Prior to this, I was working with a media company, large media house called Hindustan Times and Educom. So I saw this opportunity, people spending huge amount of money on print, on the traditional media and other thing. But the ROI was not really defined, and the kind of usage of technology in the education domain was very, very minimal, So I feel anything which is very, very high spending and still unorganized, is actually an opportunity for any entrepreneur. And that's what we saw in education. So we thought to have this kind of opportunity for the advertisers where we can make them understand how digital works, get them on board on digital, and make sure that they're able to calculate the ROIs, their spends are less and everything. So that's the idea behind the Unipro. That's how we started this.
Okay, you're making an interesting point about ROI on advertisements.
Correct.
Can you talk our viewers through how exactly that works?
Yeah, so basically ROI is like I said, when you put up a print ad, you largely get number of calls, or maybe people walk into your institute or inquire about your product and everything. But it is really not trackable, so you don't really know that how many people are actually responding to it, how many people saw it. The circulation figures are there, readership figures are there, but it's like when it comes to digital, you can track everything, so that how many people saw my ad, how many people clicked on it, how many people actually inquired for it. So you have the entire metrics which is defined in that. So you get to know the entire behavior of the audience. Your ROI is well defined in terms of, okay, I know, these are the platforms that are working for me. My website is not giving me good traffic. My print ad did not perform, or something like this. So when you enable the technology with your advertising spends and you leverage digital as a platform, you definitely get to know, you understand, okay, this is what's working, this is what is not working. It's very, very black and white, So, but probably you should definitely use the technology in a well mixed manner.
I was just going to come to that. So, from your experience, would it be possible for you to comment on whether it should be a mix of traditional and digital, or, for MSMEs, given that cost is a huge factor, would you suggest more of digital and less of traditional?
Yeah. So, like I said, it's like if you spend really heavy on print, it's not viable for a startup or a SME, right? So you definitely need to leverage more on digital. You have to little less on print. Depends, if your budgets are very, very low, then it should be completely digital. So digital will always be economical, will always give you high ROI as compared to the traditional media. But traditional media has their own advantage in terms of bringing the credibility on board. People see it, large amount of audience seeing it, so all this stuff. So if your objective is really to acquire more clients, and not just not just the brand building, then digital is the platform that you should choose for.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before we talk specifically about digital in the field of education,
Right.
And how education has really been changing, can you tell us, the top maybe 1 or 2 things which will definitely work because of technology? I'm trying to understand what the benefits of using technology for
Right.
MSMEs and startups.
Right.
From your experience, the top 1 or 2 things.
So the first thing is they should have a complete CRM, which will help you to get the leads at one place, distribute the leads to a different place. They can manage the leads. You can understand from where the leads are coming up. It's the entire process as a whole that you should keep it. So CRM is the one key that you should definitely, look for. And plus, you should also understand what is the post, lead generation thing that you're doing. For example, a lot of people who generate a lot of leads or who generate a lot of responses from the campaigns that they do, but they just do calls on that. Are you doing anything apart from the calls? Yeah. So it's like, are you showing them the YouTube video ads? Are you engaging them on social media platforms? The existing amount of people who have already inquired about your product. So those are the things that needs to be taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about how the education space has changed and how technology is disrupting the education space in India.
Right. Yeah, that's like,
it's a broad-based topic, but from your experience, what have you seen? And you've clearly identified that need, or where you can fit in your solution.
Sure.
So what has that been like?
So education, I mean, it's like adapting digital into education is like an ecosystem change in itself. So when we started this company, I found it very difficult to convince people that, look, this is why digital. That was a stage when we talked about why digital. You should do this because this is what the data is showing and all that stuff. So it takes time, but people are gradually understanding it, but the growth rate is very high. It's like changing very rapidly nowadays, and that's where the growth point is. We saw the growth 3-folds going every year, 100% plus we are growing, and people are understanding gradually that youth is online. So and their audience is online, so they have to be online. So this is something which will change over a period of time. It will take time, but it is growing rapidly. It's like changing very, very rapidly, in fact.
You were talking about reaching out to your audience, which is comprised entirely or mostly, I presume, of young adults.
Correct.
And this is a generation which is always 2 steps ahead of any new technology which is being introduced. So when you're talking to a target audience that's so digitally and technologically aware, how do you change your communication to be able to deal with them at a level that they understand you?
The youth, when they see the online ads, they are really not very keen on reading the entire information. So don't try to counsel the student on the microsite itself. Always give a small information onto it and let them read about it and let them reach to you, and then you can actually do that. So understanding the audience behavior and your communication strategy should be accordingly is actually a very, very important key to make your campaign successful.
We were talking earlier about what are the 1 or 2 things that you would say are the benefits really of using digital for any business. I want to talk about now the downside really of digital or technology, in the sense that at a time when everyone wants to have a bold opinion on social media and is using digital to build brands for themselves and market themselves. How do you contain the downside? How do you ensure that you're creating a unique position for yourself, you're standing out from the clutter, and at the same time, you're not, in some sense, going overboard and creating a negative image?
So if you talk about Unipro as a specific, I mean, I would say downside is something, when everybody says you use digital as a platform. So excessive use of digital platform, delivering X number of quantity of inquiries or responses to them, sometimes becomes unmanageable for the client. So plus the quality also sometimes an issue. So here in digital you need to have a very, very it's like a very good balance in terms of how you're running the campaigns and how you're doing the digital marketing to get the desired output that you want. So the downside is something, if you don't use it right way, your money can be like compromised. It's like, so your whole budget can be spent, but still you won't know.
Not getting the results. And I guess that's
correct.
where an external agency role, so a specialist agency will come into play.
That's right.
What next for Unipro? So maybe give us a 5-year time frame, or is that too long?
Yeah, so we primarily doing everything in the pre-admission stuff. So pre-admission is a student who's looking for a website and then coming to the college, walk-in and everything. So we help education advertisers to with the creative stuff, with the campaign stuff, with the technology stuff, but we are not yet reached to a level of post-admission. So we are currently working on a mobile app, in fact, and that's something as a kind of, we call it a my notice board. So that's something which is for the students who are already studying in the college, and they are getting benefit of it. So they can see all the notifications, and we can talk about them. So my primary objective is in next stage. I would love to see something from Unipro side in the post-admission thing, and that's what we are working on right now.
Okay, so one final question, if you can talk to your fellow entrepreneurs who are in the education space and using technology or digital in some form.
Right.
One piece of advice that you have received in your entrepreneurial journey, and what therefore will be the lesson that you want to leave them with?
Okay, so education is a very it's a field which belongs to the academicians, right? So one thing is for sure, you need to be very true, very honest, and you need to be a person who can work like an advisor. And if you try to sell something, it will not work. You have to share the kind of knowledge that you carry.
Let's take a quick break. On the other side, on our